Welcome to Wisdom Time. One of the toughest things in life is having to make a big decision. That feeling of being at a crossroads, it's universal. Today, we're going to explore a really profound spiritual tool for exactly those moments. We're talking about Istikhara, the practice of seeking divine guidance when you truly don't know which way to turn. So let's break down how it all works.
I mean, we've all been there, right? Staring at two different paths. Maybe it's a new job, a marriage proposal, a big move, any huge life choice. And the pressure can be immense. The fear of making the wrong call can honestly be paralyzing. But what if? What if there was a way to hand that uncertainty over to a wisdom far greater than our own?
So in this explainer, we're going to walk through the whole thing step by step. We'll start by figuring out when this is even needed. Then, and this is a big one, we'll clear up some major myths. After that, we'll learn the correct, authentic way to do it, dive deep into the beautiful prayer that's at its heart, and finally talk about what you should really expect as the outcome.
Okay, so let's set the stage here. Istikhara isn't something you do for every little thing. It's this powerful, deeply meaningful tool that you pull out for those moments when you are genuinely, truly torn between permissible options and you're seeking the absolute best path forward.
And to really grasp just how important this is, think about this for a second. This wasn't just some casual recommendation. The companions of the prophet actually reported that he taught this prayer with the same seriousness, the same gravity, as teaching a whole chapter from the Qur'an. That right there tells you just how vital this guidance is supposed to be in a believer's life. All right, before we even get into the how-to, we absolutely have to talk about what not to do. There are some really common ideas about istikhara floating around that aren't just wrong, they can be seriously misleading. So let's clear the air.
Let me just ask you this. When you think about the result of an istikhara, what's the very first thing that pops into your head? For so many people, it's a dream, right? Seeing the color green for go or red for stop. But is that what the tradition actually teaches us?
And this brings us to probably the most important myth to bust. The popular idea of getting your answer in a dream, like seeing a specific color, has absolutely no basis in the authentic teachings of the prophet. The real sign is something that happens inside you. It's a feeling of clarity, a sense of peace, or your heart just kind of gently leaning towards one of the choices. It's about a shift within you, not some vision while you're asleep.
And it goes beyond just the dream myth. There are other big mistakes to watch out for. Believing in these special istikhara dreams is actually considered a dangerous innovation. And another thing, this is a deeply personal conversation. You can't do istikhara for your friend, and your mom can't do it for you. The guidance is meant to come directly to the heart of the person who's actually facing the decision. Okay, so with those myths out of the way, we can finally build on some solid ground. Let's get into the authentic, correct way to seek this guidance. And hey, before we dive in, if you're finding this helpful, don't forget to subscribe to our channel, like our video, and definitely turn on that notification bell so you don't miss out on more insights like these.
So, let's build on that foundation. This next part is the practical how-to guide, where we'll lay out the simple but profound steps that have been passed down through tradition. The process itself is beautifully straightforward. First, it all starts with the right intention. You have to be genuinely undecided about something that's permissible. Then, you get your head in the right space. Find a calm time, a quiet place where you can focus. After that, you perform a simple 2-unit voluntary prayer. And the final step is to recite the special prayer, the Istikhara dua, with total sincerity. After that, you just trust the process. Now, this is a question that comes up all the time. You've done the prayer, you've said the dua, and you feel nothing. You're just as confused as you were before. So what do you do then? Well, the guidance is simple. You repeat it. That connection isn't always instant. Now, there's no magic number here, but it's often said that if you do it consistently, clarity can come within about a week. You can repeat the prayer and the dua every day, or even a few times a day, until your heart finally feels a sense of peace and direction about one of the choices. And now, we've arrived at the very heart of the entire practice. This isn't just any prayer. This is a deep, comprehensive supplication that was taught by the prophet himself, and it perfectly captures the mindset you need for seeking guidance. And here it is, the supplication in its original Arabic. These are the very words taught by the prophet, a direct, unbroken link to this beautiful tradition. Let's just take a moment to look at its form before we unpack the incredible meaning behind every single part. When you boil it all down, this dua is really a beautiful declaration of humility. It's basically you saying, my knowledge and power are limited, so I'm asking you, the all-knowing, the all-powerful, to please choose for me. And, this is the crucial part, make me happy with whatever your choice is.
So, the prayer kicks off with this powerful act of humility. When you say these words, you're consciously putting your own ego aside. You're admitting, look, my knowledge has blind spots, but yours is perfect. My strength is limited, but yours is absolute. It's a total surrender. And that's the very first step to opening your heart to receive real guidance.
Next, you bring your specific decision right to the table. And notice how comprehensive this is. You're not just asking if it's good for right now. You're asking God to judge it based on how it impacts your faith, your entire life, and your ultimate end. And if it is good, you ask him to not just give it to you, but to make the path easy and fill it with blessings. And just as important is asking for protection from the wrong choice. If this thing is actually bad for you, you ask for two things. First, that God turns the whole situation away from you. But second, and this is so powerful, you ask him to turn you away from it. You're asking for your own desire for that thing to be taken away, which protects you from regret down the line. And this is the incredible conclusion. This is the ultimate submission. After everything you say, and decree for me what is good, wherever it may be, and then make me content with it. That's the key right there. You're not just asking for the right answer. You're asking for a heart that is truly happy and at peace with that answer. So we've covered the what, the why, and the how. Let's wrap things up by focusing on the internal state you need to have for this to really work and what that answer actually looks and feels like.
Look, the effectiveness of this really hinges on your mindset. Sincerity is everything. You have to mean the words of the prayer, not just recite them from memory. You have to have an open heart, truly willing to accept whatever the outcome is, not just secretly hoping for one answer. And finally, this doesn't replace using your brain. You should still talk to wise, trusted people and get their advice.
And this all brings us to the ultimate takeaway. Stop looking for some dramatic sign in the sky. The guidance you're looking for comes from within. The real result of a successful Istikhara is a heart that's at peace. It's a quiet confidence, an internal nudge that gently pushes you toward the right path. It's the tranquility you get from handing your affairs over to the best of planners. And that really leaves us with one final thought to ponder. This whole practice is less about getting a magical answer and much more about preparing your own heart to be able to receive guidance. So as you face your next big decision, the real question isn't just, what should I do? But rather, how will I prepare my heart with humility, sincerity, and true openness to actually be guided?